My parents had a secret group chat called The Problem Child about me, so I disappeared without warning and never contacted them again. Show us some love by subscribing today. And don't forget, tell us in the comments where you're listening from. We read every message. I found it by accident. My mama's phone was charging on the kitchen counter when it lit up with a notification. The Problem Child, the group name read with my cousin Jasmine's message preview. She really thinks she's better than everyone now. My hands trembled as I picked up that iPhone 12, my heart already knowing what my mind refused to accept. The screen was still unlocked from when Mama had been scrolling through Facebook moments before running to answer the doorbell. I shouldn't have looked. God, I wish I hadn't. But something in my gut twisted hard and I opened that chat. 3 years. They'd been talking about me for 3 entire years. Mama, Daddy, Aunt Renee, Uncle Marcus, Grandma Dorothy and Jasmine. 6 people who smiled in my face every Sunday dinner, who hugged me tight at Christmas, who told me they were proud when I got into Spelman College on a full scholarship. The messages scrolled endlessly. She's too bougie now for the family, Daddy wrote last month. Walking around here with her head in them books like she's Michelle Obama or something. Mama had replied with a laughing emoji. A laughing emoji. About her own daughter's ambition. My vision blurred as I scrolled faster, watching my own family dissect every choice I'd made since turning 16. My clothes were too white girl. My speech was acting educated. My dreams were forgetting where I came from. The front door clicked. Mama's footsteps echoed in the hallway. I placed her phone exactly where I'd found it, my face a careful mask, my heart a shattered thing bleeding silently in my chest. Dinner that night tasted like ash. Mama had made my favorite, smothered pork chops with collard greens and mac and cheese, but every bite stuck in my throat like concrete. I was 19 years old, sitting at the table where I'd eaten thousands of meals, suddenly feeling like an intruder in my own home. Daddy asked about my classes at Spelman, his voice warm and interested, and I wanted to scream. How dare he pretend to care when just yesterday he'd written, "Anna thinks that expensive black college makes her special. She's still just the girl who couldn't pass algebra without tutoring." "It's good, Daddy," I managed, pushing greens around my plate. "Made Dean's List again. That's my baby girl." Mama beamed, reaching over to squeeze my hand. The same hand that had typed 2 weeks ago. I'm tired of her looking down on us. She comes home from Atlanta acting like our house isn't good enough anymore. Spoiled brat. I excused myself early, claiming a headache. In my childhood bedroom, surrounded by purple walls I'd painted in 8th grade and posters of Beyoncé and Michelle Obama, I opened my laptop. The group chat was called The Problem Child. Not Anna's Support System or Family Circle. The Problem Child. Like I was a crisis to be managed, a burden to be discussed, a disappointment to be analyzed behind closed doors. I read every message that night. All 2,847 of them. They discussed my weight when I gained 15 pounds freshman year. They mocked my boyfriend Devin, calling him too dark-skinned and hood. They laughed about my tears when I didn't get the internship at the NAACP. They complained about me asking for gas money, even though I worked 20 hours weekly at the campus bookstore. Monday morning I skipped my 8 a.m. sociology class and went straight to Bank of America on Piedmont Avenue. My hands shook as I opened a new checking account, one with only my name. No joint access, no emergency contacts listed. The banker, a middle-aged Indian woman named Priya, smiled warmly as she processed my paperwork. "Starting fresh?" she asked. If only she knew. I transferred every penny from my savings account, $4,800 I'd earned from my bookstore job, birthday money from Grandma Dorothy that now felt contaminated, and the remains of my summer lifeguard salary. Next I walked to the Sprint store and bought a prepaid phone. $45 for the cheapest smartphone they had, plus a month of unlimited service. The saleswoman, young and tattooed with box braids down to her waist, asked if I was okay. I must have looked how I felt, hollowed out, running on pure adrenaline and hurt. Just need a fresh start, I told her. She nodded like she understood, like maybe she'd been there too. Back in my dorm room, I started making lists. What I needed versus what I could leave behind. My roommate, Tasha, was at cheerleading practice, giving me privacy to plan my disappearance. I couldn't tell her. Couldn't tell anyone. If word got back to my family, they'd find a way to stop me, to guilt me into staying, to make me feel crazy for being hurt by their betrayal. The problem child. That's what I was to them. So I'd solve their problem by removing myself entirely. I waited until Thanksgiving break. Everyone expected me home to Detroit on Wednesday, but I told Mama I had to work extra shifts at the bookstore, that I'd come Thursday morning instead. She'd sighed dramatically, probably adding it to the group chat. She's too good to come home on time now. I didn't care anymore. Wednesday at dawn, I loaded everything that mattered into my 2008 Honda Civic. Clothes, laptop, books, my favorite blanket Grandma Dorothy made before I knew she talked about me like garbage behind my back. Tasha helped me carry boxes, asking no questions even though her eyes held 1,000. You know you can tell me anything, right, Anna? She said, loading the last bag. I hugged her tight. This girl I'd known only 3 months but who'd shown me more genuine friendship than my blood family had in years. I know. I'm okay, I promise. Just need to handle some things. It wasn't a complete lie. My new apartment was in East Point, 30 minutes from campus. $500 a month for a studio. Cheaper because the neighborhood was rough, but I didn't care. It was mine. No family photos on the walls. No memories of Sunday dinners where they smiled at me while secretly thinking I was the problem child. The superintendent, an older black man named Mr. Washington, handed me the keys. You running from something or toward something? He asked. Both, I answered honestly. He nodded, understanding in his weathered face. I unpacked in silence, my phone buzzing with messages from Mama asking what time I'd arrive tomorrow. I'd respond eventually, just not how she expected. Thursday morning, 6 a.m. While my family slept peacefully in Detroit, probably dreaming about the turkey Mama would stuff and the sweet potato pie Aunt Renee always brought, I sat cross-legged on my new apartment floor and opened my laptop. The message took 2 hours to write. Every word was a knife I was pulling from my own back, examining, then placing carefully on the table between us. I wanted them to understand, but more than that, I needed them to know I knew. To the members of the Problem Child group chat, I began. Yes, I found it. Yes, I read every single message. All 2,847 of them spanning 3 years. I know what you really think of me, how you really feel about my dreams, my education, my choices, my existence. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to smile in my face while texting about how I'm too bougie, too educated, too whitewashed, too much behind my back. I'm removing the problem. Effective immediately, I'm no longer your daughter, niece, granddaughter, or cousin. Don't call. Don't text. Don't show up at Spelman looking for me because I'm withdrawing. Don't file a missing person report because I'm not missing. I'm just done. You wanted the problem child gone? Congratulations. She is. I attached screenshots. Not all 2,847 messages, just the worst ones. Daddy calling me uppity. Mama saying I was embarrassing when I corrected her grammar. Grandma Dorothy agreeing I'd forgotten my raising. Jasmine suggesting they cut her off financially, teach her a lesson. Uncle Marcus's comment that I was sleeping with professors for grades, because how else would a girl from our family make Dean's List? I hit send at 8:47 a.m. and turned off my old phone forever. The new phone I'd bought stayed silent for 3 days. Peaceful, eerie silence. I half expected the world to end, for lightning to strike me down for abandoning my family. Instead, the sun kept rising over East Point and I kept going to my classes at Spelman, and life continued with a strange, quiet intensity. It was Tasha who first told me about the chaos I'd left behind. "Girl, somebody named Jasmine keeps coming to our dorm room asking about you," she whispered during our African American Studies seminar. "I told her you moved, but I don't know where." You looked crazy, Anna. Like actually crazy. What happened? I couldn't explain it all, but I gave her the basics. The group chat. The betrayal. My disappearance. Tasha's eyes filled with tears. "That's your family? Oh my God, Anna. That's evil. That's actually evil." Her validation cracked something open in my chest. I'd been so afraid people would think I was overreacting, being dramatic, throwing away family over just words. But Tasha got it. The words were the violence. Professor Williams, my English literature instructor, noticed the change in me too. After class she asked me to stay behind. Dr. Angela Williams was 50-something, natural hair and silver locks. The kind of black woman who'd fought her way through academia and wore her survival like armor. "Miss Thompson, your last essay was extraordinary. Raw, angry and brilliant. Are you okay?" I almost lied. Almost said I was fine. Instead, I told her everything. She listened without interruption, her face growing darker with each revelation. When I finished, she said something that changed everything. "Anna, you're not the problem child. You're the solution they were too blind to recognize." My mama found me 3 weeks later. I don't know how. Maybe she tracked my student account. Maybe someone at Spelman's administration office recognized the desperation in her voice and broke privacy rules. She showed up at Mr. Washington's building on a Tuesday evening, pounding on doors until she found mine. I heard her voice through the thin walls, shrill and desperate. "Anna. Anna Marie Thompson, I know you're in there. Open this door right now." I sat frozen on my futon, heart hammering. Part of me, that little girl who'd always craved her mama's approval, wanted to run to her. The rest of me, the woman who'd read 2,847 messages of contempt, stayed put. Mr. Washington's voice rumbled in the hallway. "Ma'am, if you don't leave, I'm calling the police." Mama's response was immediate. "I'm her mother. My baby is in there." Mr. Washington didn't budge. "Your baby is 19 years old and asked not to be disturbed. You need to leave now." The silence that followed was suffocating. Then Mama's voice again, softer now, broken. "Anna, baby, please. We can talk about this. It was just venting, sweetheart. Every family complains sometimes. We love you. Your daddy is sick with worry. Grandma Dorothy hasn't stopped crying. Please, baby. Please come home." Each word was a hook trying to catch my guilt, to pull me back into their dysfunction. I pressed my hands over my ears like a child, tears streaming down my face. Mr. Washington's voice was firm. "Ma'am, I'm dialing 911 now." I heard footsteps retreating, then the building door slamming. Only then did I breathe again, my whole body shaking with the effort of staying strong. Devin showed up that weekend. My ex-boyfriend, the one my family had mocked in their chat for being too hood and too dark, stood outside my door with Chinese takeout and a 6-pack of Sprite. "Tasha called me," he said simply. "Said you needed a friend." We hadn't been together since sophomore year, but Devin had always been solid. We sat on my floor eating lo mein and I told him everything. His jaw clenched harder with each detail. "They talked about me too?" he asked quietly. I nodded. "Uncle Marcus said you'd end up in jail. Daddy said I could do better, meaning lighter-skinned and richer." Devin was silent for a long moment. Then, "My mom did the same thing to my sister." Had a whole Facebook group with my aunties talking about how Shanice was too fast, too loose, going to end up pregnant and alone. Shanice found it when she was 17. She's 30 now. Haven't spoken to them in 13 years. She's a nurse practitioner, married, 2 kids, happy as hell. And they still don't think they did anything wrong. The parallel struck me hard. Does it get easier? I asked. Does the guilt go away? Eventually, Devon said. But only when you realize that people who truly love you don't need a secret chat to process their feelings. They talk to you, with you. Not about you like you're a problem to solve. He stayed until midnight, making me laugh with stories about his campus radio show, reminding me that I was worthy of unconditional love even if my family couldn't provide it. When he left, he hugged me tight and whispered, "You did the right thing, Anna. Don't let them make you doubt that." Jasmine cornered me in the Spelman Library 6 weeks after I'd disappeared. I was in the 3rd floor stacks researching my thesis on James Baldwin when she appeared like a ghost, her face a mixture of anger and something else. Fear, maybe. "We need to talk," she hissed, grabbing my arm. I yanked away, my voice cold. "No, we really don't." Other students looked up from their laptops. Jasmine lowered her voice, but the venom remained. "You've destroyed this family, Anna. Your mama cries every single day. Grandma Dorothy had to start blood pressure medication. All because you're too sensitive to handle a little family gossip." The words "little family gossip" ignited something volcanic in my chest. Gossip. My voice was steady, lethal. "You wrote that I was probably sleeping with my professors. Uncle Marcus said I'd end up a statistic. My own mother called me an embarrassment. For 3 years. That's not gossip, Jasmine. That's systematic psychological abuse dressed up as family communication." Jasmine's face flushed. "We were just worried about you. You changed, Anna. You got all uppity with your college and your proper speech and your..." "And my what?" I interrupted. "My dreams. My education. My refusal to stay small so you all could feel big." The librarian started toward us, but I was done. I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots I'd saved, and showed Jasmine her own words. "Anna acts like she's Oprah now. Somebody needs to humble her." Jasmine paled. You read all of it?" Her voice was small now. "Every single word," I confirmed. "And now you need to leave before I show everyone here exactly what kind of family I walked away from." Jasmine left. I sat shaking in the stacks for an hour afterward. Professor Williams became my lifeline. After Jasmine's ambush, I broke down in Dr. Williams's office, the whole story pouring out in gasping sobs. She didn't offer platitudes or try to convince me to reconcile. Instead, she shared her own story. My father was a minister who told his congregation I was possessed by demons because I wanted to get my PhD instead of marrying the deacon's son. My mother stood by and let him say it. I haven't spoken to them in 23 years. I built my own family, chosen family. And so will you. She introduced me to the Black Women's Empowerment Collective on campus, a group of students and faculty who met weekly. There I met women with stories that mirrored mine. Amara, whose parents disowned her for being queer. Nia, whose family stole her scholarship money. Tamika, whose mother competed with her instead of supporting her. We sat in circles in the student union, sharing our truths, validating each other's pain. "You're not overreacting," Amara told me during one session. "Betrayal by family cuts deeper than any other wound because it comes from where you're supposed to be safest." The collective taught me that family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the professor who stays late to help you process trauma. It's the ex-boyfriend who brings Chinese food and understanding. It's the roommate who lies to protect you. It's the women who sit in circles and say, "Me too. You're not alone. You're not crazy. Your pain is real and valid and you didn't deserve it." For the first time since Thanksgiving, I started sleeping through the night. Spring semester brought unexpected changes. My grades didn't just stay strong, they soared. Without the constant weight of family drama, without dreading every holiday visit and phone call laced with hidden judgment, I flourished. I won the English department's prize for Best Undergraduate Essay. I got accepted into a summer research program at Howard University studying African American family dynamics. The irony wasn't lost on me. I started therapy through the Campus Wellness Center, a Black woman therapist named Dr. Patterson who specialized in family estrangement. "What you're experiencing is grief," Dr. Patterson explained during our 4th session. "You're mourning the family you thought you had. The people you believed loved you unconditionally. That loss is real even if the relationship was toxic." She helped me understand that cutting them off wasn't cruel. It was survival. "You can't heal in the environment that made you sick," she said. Those words became my mantra. I changed my major to psychology, specifically focusing on family systems and intergenerational trauma. My pain had a purpose now. I would help other young Black women navigate family toxicity, help them understand that choosing themselves wasn't selfish. Tasha threw me a small birthday party in April. My 20th birthday, the first one I'd spent without family. Devin came. Professor Williams came. The women from the collective came. We ate cake and laughed, and someone asked about my family. "I don't have one," I said simply. "Not anymore." No one pushed. No one said I should forgive them. They just accepted my truth and kept celebrating me. That night, alone in my apartment, I didn't cry. I felt something new. Peace. A year after my disappearance, Grandma Dorothy died. Aunt Renee found me through Spelman's alumni network. I'd graduated early that May, determined and driven by a rage that had calcified into purpose. "The funeral is Saturday," Aunt Renee's email read. "Your grandmother asked for you at the end. Said she was sorry. Said she loved you. Please come, Anna. Let's be family again." I stared at that email for 3 days. Dr. Patterson helped me process the conflicting emotions. Grief for Grandma Dorothy, anger at the manipulation of using a dead woman's supposed last words to guilt me home, curiosity about whether she really had expressed regret. I didn't go to the funeral. Instead, I visited Grandma Dorothy's grave alone, 2 weeks later when I knew no one would be there. I brought flowers, purple irises, her favorite. I stood in the Oakland Hills Cemetery reading her headstone, "Beloved mother, grandmother, friend." I wondered if I should have been added to that list. Then I remembered, she's getting too big for her britches. Someone needs to take her down a peg. That's what Grandma Dorothy had written about me excelling at Spelman. Beloved grandmother, maybe. But not to me. Not really. "I forgive you," I whispered to the granite stone. "Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace." I left the flowers and walked away feeling lighter. That afternoon I blocked Aunt Renee's email. I changed my name legally. Kept Anna, dropped Thompson, became Anna Marie Baldwin after James Baldwin, the writer who taught me that love requires honesty and freedom. I applied to graduate programs in clinical psychology. I was done running. I was building something new. Now, at 23, I'm Dr. Anna Baldwin, PhD candidates count fight me, working at a family therapy clinic in Chicago. I specialize in helping young adults navigate toxic family dynamics and religious trauma. My apartment has no family photos, but it's covered in pictures of my chosen family. Tasha, my best friend and my son's godmother. Devin, now my husband of 2 years. Professor Williams, who walked me down the aisle. The women from the collective who threw my baby shower last month. Sometimes clients ask if I regret cutting off my family. Every day, I answer honestly. And also never. The paradox of estrangement. You can mourn what you lost while knowing you're better off without it. I heard through mutual connections that Mama still talks about me, still maintains I overreacted, still insists the group chat was just venting. Daddy apparently feels guilty but won't apologize. Jasmine got married and didn't invite me. The trash took itself out with that one. Last week, a 19-year-old black girl sat in my office, sobbing about discovering her family's secret chat about her weight, her hair, her choices. I held her hand and told her my story. "You're not the problem child," I said, echoing Professor Williams's words that had saved me. "You're the solution they're too blind to see. And you get to choose yourself. That's not selfish. That's survival." She asked if it gets easier. I told her the truth. Yes. You'll build something better than what you left. I promise. That night I held my newborn son Zion and whispered promises into his tiny ears. I will never make you small to feel big. I will never mock your dreams. I will never have a secret chat about you. You will always be safe with me. The cycle ends here. The problem child became the solution. And she's finally beautifully free.